you guys just supporting this cause. So let's give it up for Deborah. Let's give her a round of applause. Absolutely. For having this, I think it's awesome. People were here early, so that tells me that you guys really wanted to be here. You really wanted to support this event. You really wanted to support the authors, and you just probably really wanted something to do on a Saturday afternoon. So again, I am Kendell Lenice, and yes, I am called the Lady Motivator. I see people around like, Lady Motivator, I saw your video, so that always makes me smile. I am a lot of things. I have a lot of slashes, but I'm a certified transformational life coach and speaker and author and radio host and on and on and on. But my greatest role and my greatest gift are my children. I have a 24-year-old and I have an 18-year-old, and all three of us are in college. How about that? Absolutely. So I'm very, very proud. I actually took my youngest daughter back to college. She had a game at 1 o'clock, so this started at 1. So normally both of them are with me, but my oldest daughter is back there. How many of mothers do we have in here? Wonderful, wonderful. Happy Mother's Day, because you know it's really not a date, right? You do know Mother's Day is every day, right? Okay, I'm just checking. All right, so we are here talking about literature, talking about our books, but my main goal, as Ms. Deborah said, is to motivate and to inspire you to live your best lives, because after all, God gave us this precious gift called life. And if you're not really living life and allowing life to live you, then what kind of life is that really? And you really have to think about it, because our days on this earth are very, very short. No matter how old you are, if you live to 100, that's short. And you really have to be able to live your best life. And I have a long title for a reason. The Best Gift Ever, A Guide to Loving You, because that's the first. And my book came out on Valentine's Day. Forget loving everyone else. You got to start with you, right? So that's really what it's about. It's all about learning how to live your best life. So I just want to go through some of the chapters just to let you know, get a feel of what's in the book. And I'm going to also read a little bit of the first chapter. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. So I'll go through some of the chapters. Chapter 1 is self-discovery. 2 is who lied to you. Because in life, people lie to you and tell you you're nothing and you can't do it, and they have you doubting yourself. So, and thinking about who lied to you. Has anybody been lied to about who they are? Absolutely. 3, invest in yourself. And today, that's what you all are doing right now. You're investing in yourself. And that's really what it's about also. Next chapter is detoxify your life. How many people need to detoxify their life? And that means giving some people the boot out of your life, because everybody that came with you is not meant to leave with you. Everybody that's with you right now, they might be sent to the left and right of you. I don't know. But they might not mean to be with you. And a lot of people say, well, I've known this person for all of these years. But it's a movie called Love Jones. Anyone see it? And it's a scene where he says, well, we've been together all of these years. And she says, all we had was all these years. So think about that. And a lot of times people carry people with them. So detoxify your life. I think the end of the year going into a new year is a great time to detoxify your life. And it's difficult sometimes, but you got to do it sometimes. Upgrade your relationships. Laugh is one of the chapters. I go through the importance of laughter. My goal every day is to laugh like a crazy woman every single day. Like laugh out loud. Before LOL came out, I was already doing it. Get out of your comfort zone. A lot of people do the same thing the same way all of the time. And they wonder why nothing is changing in their lives. That's called insanity. Visualization. I have a vision board workshop coming up. I do one always like around New Year's Eve to get you going for the next year. And I always do vision boards and I write down my prayers. And I'm telling you, when I tell you how many things come to pass, you would be shocked. So visualize, because if you can see it, then you can feel it, then you can believe it. It's repetition, if you can keep looking at it. So I think it's very important. The next chapter is go to the doctor. You can't live your best life if you're unhealthy. You can't live your best life if you haven't been to the doctor. I talked to some people who haven't been to the doctor in 5, 10, 15 years. I talked to someone last week. He said he hadn't been to the doctor in 10 years. But he said, but I'm good. I said, are you? How do you know? Because a lot of things lay dormant and you think you're good. And then you find out when it's too late. So you can't live your best life if you're not here. Amen? Amen. Okay, so employment envy. You don't have to be envious of people that have the profession that you want. Because you can always go back to school. You can always change your profession. You can, guess what? You can leave a job that you've been at for 10 years. You can do it. So you don't have to have employment envy. And the next one is your love, your relationship. Next one is, would you marry yourself? Because everybody is out. How many people would marry themselves the way they are right now? Okay. How many people say, I got a little bit of work to do, but I'll be all right in about 6 to 12 months. I may marry myself then. All right. And then the next chapter, 13, is the past and the present. Because although we don't live in our past, we have to acknowledge our past in order to have the best future in the present we can have. The next chapter, 14, is you are specially made. The next chapter is, well, I don't need to say anything more after that, right? Okay. Make time for yourself. And I was talking about Mother's Day. And, you know, that being every day. And men, you need to take time for yourselves too. But women are who said it? Right. We care for everyone else. And anybody been on an airplane? What do they tell you to do first before you do anything? Put your mask on yourself first. Before you even help who? Your children, anybody. You've got to take time and make time for yourself. It's critical. Also, if you don't like it, remix it. I like to say I'm the P. Diddy of life coaching. Remix. You got to remix it. And that's one of my shirts that I have. I have a couple of shirts. Everything is positive. But it's never too late to remix your life. It's never too late to remix your life. It doesn't matter. People say, well, I'm 30, well, I'm 40, well, I'm 60, I'm 70, I can't change. You can't change because you already set in your mind that you can't change. Change is about choice first and making the decision to change. So can we all change? Do we all have room to grow in here? Okay, excellent. And then chapter 17, I give my life and my lessons because I am a certified life coach. I have a degree in human services. I'm all about the people, helping people, and all of that. But I practice what I preach. I go around speaking to different organizations and different events, and I'm not going to put anything in the here that I wouldn't do or that I haven't done. So I thought it was only fair because 17 is my favorite number, and that is my birthday. So I did 17 chapters with that, and in the 17th chapter, I talk about my life and my lessons and all of that. Like I said, I'm pushing 50. So just having my professional experience and my personal experience and life experiences, I always say I don't know everything, but I do know what I know. and when God gives you gifts, and when I say gifts, I mean the things that you've gone through, the lessons that you learned. How dare you keep them for yourself? I'm an advocate of sharing your testimonies with others because what we go through has nothing to do with us. It's not for us. It's for us to share. So, and a lot of people ask me all of the time. So I put a lot of the things that I tell people and the people that I talk to, I put that in the book. Do I have time, like about 3 minutes to read something? Okay, because I don't want to go over because I do speak for a living. So sometimes I talk. All right, so I just wanted to read just a little bit of the first chapter outside of the dedications and all of that. So chapter 1 is self-discovery. Hi, me. It's me. Getting to know the real you. So, do you know who you really are? I don't mean your name, your zodiac sign, what you like on a burger. I'm not talking about whether you eat meat or you're a strict vegetarian. The difference in who you are and what you do may set you aside from others, but who you are, it doesn't really define who you are? Have you ever met the real you? To become acquainted with you is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Many people walk through life not knowing who they really are. You tend to mock people you're around for so long. You begin to morph into a combination of several different people. It's easy to float through life not having a clue. It's very common practice. You may not even be aware that you're even doing it. Most people aren't. Sometimes you can trick yourself into thinking you are someone that you really aren't. If you tell a lie long enough, you soon believe it, and you start to believe the hype. If you are unsure of who you are, it may not be your fault. It doesn't mean you're a fraud. It simply means that you have not been influenced consciously or unconsciously by those around you. It's a natural thing. It happens to all of us. It normally starts at home. You tend to be who your family is or wants you to be. Can anybody relate to that? Okay. If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. You spend the majority of time with your family and your family members as a child. You start off liking the things your family like. You describe yourself as your family describes you. You may find your faults through the eyes of your family members. If someone says you have big ears or you talk too much or you start to take on those attributes and define yourself as so. You then walk around as if something is wrong with you. Your head is hung low. You feel dejected. You walk through life feeling insecure about your flaws that someone else told you had. Think about that. You don't take the insults or reality as a compliment. You don't take it on. You don't take it on as a blessing. You take it on like a ton of baggage, and it stays with you throughout your life until you know better. When you know better, you do better. It's all in the way you condition yourself to think. You often behave as your family behaves. They are the first teachers. You respect and obey your teachers. You take what they say as gospel. Unknowingly, and then I just want to read a little bit. So growing up, people were labeled according to how they looked outside, which is rude when you think about it. The description of who you are in childhood names. Anyone have a childhood name? People were being called these names, and even more shockingly, they answered to them. So think about this. When I think about it now, I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant feeling when you call people names according to what they look like. So family members and loved ones start calling you names like, and these are people that I really know. I changed them a little bit, but think about some of these names that I've heard. Fat Sean, Black Rob, Black, Bucky, Brown Eyes, Red Bone, High Yellow, Chocolate, Brace Face, Coke Bottle, Pie Face, Bald Head Rhonda, Big Head, Twiggy, Olive Oil, Chocolate Bunny, Big Tony, Uncle Shorty. I do have an Uncle Shorty, y'all. Good hair Rico. I do know one. Apple. Speaking of the way somebody's butt is shaped. Think about all of that stuff. White Mike. I could be here all day listening to names. How many people have crazy names or know people with crazy names? And when you really think about it, it's like, what? Because I was thinking about this guy I know named Fat Sean I went to school with. So who heard the song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now? That's his father, Sean Whitehead, McFadden and Whitehead. That was the Fat Sean that I'm talking about. And everybody called him Fat Sean. And as I got older, I thought about that. I was like, I wonder how he felt. His feelings were probably hurt, but he answered to it. And that's just the way we do it. In the African American community, we're big on nicknames. Some of the names we carry from childhood to adulthood. Now, this is the thing about us. We will know the nickname we will call you when you're in the womb. You're not even born yet, and we're calling you a nickname. That's just how we do it. Your name will be the one thing when you're born, you will instantly be called something else. So you ever, someone's going to call someone a name, and then they give them a nickname the minute that they're born, and they never call them by the name that they chose for them. Right or wrong, that's just how we do it in the Black community. So I'll just stop right there. I don't want to read too much. But I thank you so much for your time. Please support independent authors. I'm not just talking about me. But independent authors and doing this on our own, selling the books at events and in the trunk of the car and through word of mouth, it's not an easy thing to do to publish your book. And I talk to people all the time that have words inside of them and they want to get it out into a book. If anybody here is thinking that, no one in here that wrote a book is different than you are. If you want to write a book, you can write a book. I even do workshops for that. And I'm all for encouraging and giving words of wisdom and advice and the people that I work with and connections. Because as a Black community, it's still the crabs in a barrel. Nobody wants to help one another get, more than what they have, in spite of feeling that maybe they'll surpass them. But so what? Because we're all called to do certain things. And what God has for us will always be for us. Just because we're stingy with our information, it doesn't mean that God is not going to bless that. He's going to bless us tenfold when we share what we do for others. God constantly is in my head. Every day I'm writing something. And I know that it's nothing but God. So I can encourage everyone to keep writing, keep dreaming, and allow your life to inspire others. Because I guarantee you, something that you've been through, if you just tell your story and tell your truth, you are going to help someone else. Thank you so much. God bless you.